I'm Oliver,
I'm Hannah.
and this is our fandom podcast.
Yeah.
First off, we're gonna answer some questions that Lee has made up for us.
I'm the questionnaire, Lee. Okay. So the first question is, what is the name of your fandom? Mine is Fablehaven.
And mine is Percy Jackson.
All right. Who is your favorite, or what is one of your favorite characters? One of my favorite characters is Bracken. He is male, and he is a unicorn. It's a lot of fun. He is very kind and flirtatious. He's very flirtatious, and yeah.
I like Percy because he's like funny and he's also awkward. He's like also very sarcastic, and I don't know. He's just loyal and stuff. Like he's also loyal to his friends, so it's cute.
The camera, not me, when you answer the questions. Shut up. What is your fandom? Is it a movie, a book, TV show? Mine is a book series.
Mine is a book series too. Mine is by Rick Riordan.
Mine is by Brandon Mole. Mm-hmm. Yours was created into a movie as well.
Oh,
correct.
Sorry, I forgot about that. I was hoping I could just like not have to think about it. It's really gross. Don't watch it. Thanks.
Which book is your favorite? Book 5, for sure.
Mine is number 1, mostly because I don't know. It's like what introduced me to the fandom. It was a really good book. I like all of them though.
Yeah. Why did you pick this fandom to represent today?
It's really the first series that really transitioned me into young adult books, and I just enjoy Fablehaven and fantasies.
Yeah. Mine. What was the question?
Why did you pick this fandom?
Oh yeah. I started reading it when I was like in elementary school, and it was like the first ever book series I ever read. And it was like my first. It's pretty great.
Okay, that's the end of my questions for now. I will have 5 more at the end.
Okay, cool. Okay, so first we're going to talk about my fandom, which is Percy Jackson. So basically, what got me into Percy Jackson was really my mom being like, "Oh, you should read these," because I was looking kind of for a book to read, I guess. But like I think it was for like a book report, maybe. I can't remember.
I think so.
It was for something like that, and I was like in elementary school, so I was like looking for a book. My mom was like, "Oh, you should read this," and I was like, "Oh, okay," because we had it on our shelves. She already had all the books, and so I started reading it, and I literally couldn't put them down. And it was like a whole month of like every time I had free time, I would just read those books like constantly, and it was pretty great. And like why I like it so much is just like it's just so well written, and it just has like it makes me feel like I'm like in a whole new world, and it makes me feel and like it's so relatable, and it's also I'm like a huge mythology nerd ever since I was a little kid, so it's just really great. And then the first book is basically so Percy, which is the main character, he's 12 years old in the first book, but he like gets older as the books go on.
Yeah,
obviously. But
nah, he's gonna stay 12 forever. It's fine.
And basically the book, he's like traveling, like he has to go across like the whole United States, basically trying to find this weapon, Zeus's thunderbolt. He has to find it, and with the help of his friends Grover and Annabeth.
Mm-hmm.
And like the Oracle has basically warned him that there is somebody that's going to betray you. Mm-hmm. And so that's like what the whole like first book is about, and it's pretty amazing. And then also to talk more about the characters, Percy is kind of a troubled kid. He goes to a private school for troubled kids, and he just causes more trouble. And then it's just like a whole thing, and he doesn't even try to get into trouble. It just happens. It's really funny. He also has dyslexia and ADHD. His dyslexia, later on in the book you find out like his dyslexia is because his brain is wired to read ancient Greek.
Ooh, that's actually really cool.
And then his ADHD is basically like his battlefield instincts, kind of like that's what they're supposed to be.
We really need to be like on edge and ready to go.
Because he's a demigod, so his monster's always trying to attack him.
Yeah.
And he's also the son of Poseidon, which is the Greek god of like the sea and stuff.
Cool.
And I love it. And then Annabeth is basically like Percy's best friend, not in the beginning though, because she kind of hates him in the beginning. It's pretty funny. She's the daughter of Athena, which is the goddess of like wisdom and battlefield strategy and stuff like that. And she's really smart, but she's also, I don't know, she's great. She's super nice, and she's very skilled in combat as well. So it's pretty great. And then one of the other main characters, Grover, who is a satyr, but you don't know he's a satyr in the beginning. He is basically Percy's best friend in the school that he goes to before he goes to Camp Half-Blood. And I forgot what I was going to say. It's fine. And basically he's tasked to bring Percy to Camp Half-Blood and protect him. And then you find out that he's a satyr. Yeah. And it's like this whole thing. And then Camp Half-Blood, more into that, is basically like this whole like training facility for demigods. And at first there's only 12 like cabins for each like the Half-Blood. Like they're so like for example, there's like the Zeus cabin, the Poseidon cabin. There's no Hades cabin at this point though. Because he was like kicked out or something like that. And it was pretty great. It's great that he got kicked out. It's fine. I'm just kidding. I love him. But that's basically about those characters, and then also Camp Half-Blood, which is pretty great.
What are was 2 or 3 of your favorite gods?
Oh, gods. I love Hermes for some reason, just because he's like a trickster god, and he's like the god of thieves and stuff. And I love his sons, Connor and Travis Stoll. Their last name is Stoll. I can't.
That's awesome.
I love them. They're like pranksters. They're my favorite. And then I also really love Poseidon, mostly because I don't know. I like the ocean, I guess. But
me too.
Not the point. Yeah, and then I also love Hades because, I mean, Underworld, that's pretty sick, you know. And, yeah, and then obviously all the gods' children, like, all of their children have different abilities based on, like, what their parents are, like, the god or goddess of. Yeah. So it's really cool.
So it's sort of like how Percy, his dad is Poseidon.
So he can control water.
Oh, that's really cool. Okay.
Right. And that's basically all my fandom stuff that I'm going to go over right now.
Ooh.
Okay.
So mine is Fablehaven, as I said before. Fablehaven is about 2 siblings, Kendra and Seth, who go to their grandparents' house for the summer while their parents are on a cruise. And throughout their stay at the grandparents', they learn some stuff, like they actually find out that their grandparents' property is actually a preserve for magical creatures. And they go through an adventure where they have to defeat an evil witch and a very powerful demon, and to save their grandparents and to save the whole preserve. And throughout the series, they face an evil society. They defeat a plague that turns the light creatures, like fairies, centaurs, stuff like that, into darkness. So the dark side of the stuff and just evil. And then at the end, they actually have to save the world from a demon prison from being opening and destroy, and all the demons escaping. My brain went blah. And destroying the earth. And in the second series of the Fablehaven series, they're basically saving the world from dragons because they are not happy right now and they want to escape their sanctuaries.
He's doing that right now.
Yes, it's an ongoing series right now. He just finished and published book 3, and he is writing book 4 right now. So, yay!
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention about mine. Throughout the entirety of the book, there's a prophecy that the demigod of the big 3, which is Poseidon, Zeus, and Hades, whoever of their children turns 16 first, basically decides, has to choose, I don't know, it decides whether or not, the world is being saved or something like that. So it's their actions decide that. So,
joy.
Which is really funny, because it was supposed to be Zeus's daughter, but then something happened. Now Percy's now Percy's the one that has to take care of that. Yeah, that's sorry, I forgot about that.
Yeah, you're good, man. And then so different characters you meet are obviously Seth and Kendra, and then their grandpa, Stan Sorensen, and then kind of their grandma. That's a complicated thing. At the end, you officially meet her. And then you meet Dale, who is the groundskeeper and takes care of, like, feeding the fairies. That sounds so weird. But, yeah. And then Lena, who is the housekeeper, and she basically watch overs the kids while their grandpa is off doing his preserve stuff.
Yeah.
And, yeah. So, I'm trying to think, what else?
Not that I can think of right now.
Yeah.
Different
not characters. Different creatures. There's fairies, there's centaurs, minotaurs, witches, demons,
it's an interesting
naiads.
book. I've only read the first one, but it was a really good book. I don't know why I never read it. And you should finish Percy Jackson.
Look, I am trying. I'm trying to read the first book over
Really? Okay, and now we have
more questions
by Lee.
Lee.
Like a brushes over here.
Okay.
Good job.
It's fine. Just go with it.
So what is one of your favorite random facts about your fandom?
So Kendra, who is the older sister, she is actually fairy kind. What fairy kind is, it's basically the fairies actually gifted her with special powers, kind of. So she can communicate with fairies and in their language, in the Fae language. And then she doesn't need the milk anymore to be able to see Fae kind and magical stuff. And she can actually see in the dark.
Yeah.
Because she radiates light, but she doesn't see the light. Normal people don't see the light.
Yeah.
But magical people do.
Yeah.
She's kind of like a beacon of light. It's fun.
My favorite fun fact is Percy can actually communicate with horses.
Yes.
And he has a pet. What is it? Yeah, a Pegasus named Blackjack that he can communicate with telepathically. So it's really cool.
That's cool.
What character did you relate to most and why?
I related most to Seth, mainly because he always ends up getting himself in trouble, whether he meant to or not, and he likes to break the rules. He goes against rules, whether just for fun or if it's to protect the people that he cares about. And yeah, I relate. I kind of accidentally get myself in trouble.
I relate to Percy as well because he gets himself in trouble without meaning to, and I feel that.
Oh, rule breakers!
Oh, Jesus. But it's like, I don't know. I just relate to that because I'm not like actively trying to get in trouble, but I just tend to get in trouble all the time. It's fine.
That's the thing from Breakfast Club. Did you ever cry while reading?
Yes, 100%.
All the time.
That was
It's an emotional
like a lot. There was a lot.
Both of our series are so roller coaster. It's fun.
It's great.
Read
Ups and downs all the way there.
What kind of audience would you suggest this to?
Any kind.
Anybody really?
Yeah,
it's really for anybody who like is really into like fantasy.
Yeah, Brandon Mill's really good at not adding like swear words or anything. You get there? And yeah, so all ages.
Yeah, basically.
Young and old.
Is there a fandom out there that is similar, or if they read that fandom, they would enjoy your fandom as well?
Yeah, I think Fablehaven. If you read Fablehaven, you like Percy Jackson. If you read Percy Jackson, you probably like.
Yeah, and like Michael Bay, you would like both series. Kind
Harry
of just
Potter, maybe. Yeah.
Fantasy, modern type area. I think you would enjoy Fablehaven.
Yeah.
And
That's the end of my questions.
Awesome. Okay. And that will end our podcast.
15 minutes podcast.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.